How are you? You look wonderful. Yeah, you look fabulous.
She
You
matches
all
that
look
picture.
fabulous. That's the thing. You all
We
look
are
terrific.
live, everybody. This is the official launch of the Real 50 Over 50 Visibility Project, and we are going to celebrate women who are quietly making a difference. We are all big fans of the Forbes 50 Over 50 list, but these are people that you know. These are names that you know. These are people that are famous and doing wonderful things in the world, but there are other women like us who are doing things in the world, and every day we are putting ourselves out there. We are being brave and courageous and just taking chances and making a difference. And these are the women that I was inspired to celebrate. So this has taken off like wildfire. This was an idea 2 weeks ago, and um, and now it's like a thing. We've got over 100 people that are signed up and wanting to do this. We have interviews booked out for the next couple of months. I anticipate we'll get 200 people, which will mean 4 years of interviews of celebrating and lifting up women who are impacting other lives, other businesses, communities, families all across the globe. And I am thrilled to share a couple of our speakers with you. So I'm just going to introduce them, and then this is going to be a conversation. I don't have a plan. I've been building web pages all night, but I would like to introduce you to Mal Duane, Susan Finn, Beth Naus, Nicole Lewis-Keeber, and Stephanie D'Alfonso. And some of these women have been in my life for a very long time, and some I just met. And I would like to introduce them all to you, and we're all going to just have a conversation of what it's like to be over 50 and what it's like when people are trying to make us irrelevant, and we're not going to be irrelevant. We're doing stuff, and we're doing things that matter. And if you are over 50 and want to be part of this, reach out. If you know somebody who is over 50 and needs to be part of this, reach out. We'd love to interview them. And just let's take it away. I'm going to just start with Mal, because she's right next to me on screen. Mal, introduce yourself and tell us why this matters for you.
I'm Mal Duane, and I live in Framingham, Massachusetts. When I got Donna's email, I couldn't respond fast enough because I thought the project was brilliant. Society has created a stigma for women over 50. And that in some way, as we age, we lose our value, our beauty, our contribution. And many women believe this. And in my younger years, before I was 50, I had less self-esteem, less self-worth, less contribution than I do today. And so I couldn't wait to stand up and say, yes, that being over 50 has been the best part of my life. Today, I have a healthy, loving partner. I never had that before. I have 34 years of recovery. I've written 2 books. My passion is to serve women and to share the lessons that I've learned the hard way so that they don't have to. Share the wisdom I've learned from the trauma and the darkness and the bad experiences, and share those lessons so that they don't have to walk that path of pain that I did. And I can't think of a better way of just sharing the lessons and the wisdom as a group, collaborating to spread this message far and wide to women on the planet, that when you turn 50, you're just starting to experience the real magic of who you are. That's it.
That's great, Mal. Thank you. Susan? I'm just going to go in the order where I see you. You're muted, Susan.
All right, that's probably a good time to say my friend Beth Knaus has a great podcast called Unmute Yourself. Every time somebody says unmute yourself, I think of Beth and her partner. And you know what? That's probably a great place to start, is talking about how, as Mal was saying, the relevance of where we are and what we have to say. And I don't know about you guys. I'm assuming you're kind of in the same place where everything I worried about before, what do people think about me? What if I'm not doing it right? Do I look okay? You know, what, all the things. I feel like I'm starting to be able to shed some of those limiting beliefs and to move into non-judgment, non-attachment. I read probably maybe around the time I was 50, read Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements, and to completely shifted my view of everything, to have to not care what other people think of me, and to as long as I'm showing up in the best way I possibly can for the people that I'm here to support. And I think that's probably the most important thing that I've learned as I get older, is to just show up and not worry so much, and to be totally in the moment. Same thing. Now, I have 4 adult children. I have 2 grandbabies. I have dogs. Like, to be in the moment with them and to hold them so precious, I think, is the most important thing that I can do at this point.
That's great. Beth?
Wow, what do I say to piggyback on top of these two wonderful women? I feel like this is one of the things, right, is that we get to this age and what everyone is saying has wisdom in it, right? Because we all have all this experience and you don't even have to question it. So for me, I think that, we go through our life before 50, doing whatever it is we set out to do because we thought that's what we wanted for our lives, not really understanding how long that actually meant, right? And whether it's raising families or dealing with trauma or, raising kids on your own or anything like that, you do what you have to do to get through it. And then all of a sudden, you're in a place where you're like, I can focus on me. And I learned all of these really great things along that journey. And now I'm going to put them into place. I'm not interested now in struggling to hang on to relationships that don't work, friendships or things like that. Or, I'm not interested in putting anything on my calendar that doesn't serve me at this point. And, I've been waiting to focus on writing as my first and foremost thing for the longest time. And patience is a virtue because now that's what I do, and I raised my kids to be independent. I think not having any idea what a gift it would be for me at this point to know that they're off doing these wonderful things. And, I think of Susan when I say that too, because she's got such a wonderful family, that it's so nice to spend time with them because you get to sit back and look at what you've done. And then you get to go home and do what you love for yourself. And it's just so empowering. Like it makes you feel so youthful and so much younger to be doing those things now. And it's, when people say, oh, you're this age, you're that age, we just don't feel that, I don't think, anymore. And that's a blessing. It's a gift.
Yeah, I agree. We could be as young as we want to be. Nicole?
Well, when you reached out to me and said, I have this crazy idea, what do you think? I was like, not so crazy. This is wonderful. Go for it. And I agree wholeheartedly. So, of course, I jumped right in and said yes. And I'm kind of a newer 50-ish. I just turned 51 in February. So I'm still kind of in the early parts of this, what it means to be 50. And I really didn't think much would change for me. But, there is something profound that happens when, I don't know, when you, it's not even just seeing the number. It is when you start to say it out loud. There's something very empowering that happens. And I can't describe it because, again, I'm still pretty new to this, 50 something. But I always thought I would be worried about saying, oh, I'm 51 or 50. I always thought I would want to minimize or diminish my age because I kind of grew up like you all did in that era of, when you go back and see all these memes that like Mr. Roper or Mrs. Roper that they were 51. when you think about these shows we used to watch, and they're like, Mrs. Roper was 51, and I'm like, okay. So I had this preconceived idea about what this would be like, and honestly, after being a therapist through my entire career, and the majority of my career in life has been working for other people, this point of my life is when everything's new to me, having my own business and letting go of a lot of these paradigms that have shifted, and these mindsets and these internal narratives about who we get to be and who we don't even get to be, which is really more of what we hear. It's like, you don't get to be this thing anymore. Mm-hmm. Well, at this point in my life, I'm a business owner for the first time in my life. I'm an author for the first time in my life. I'm a sought after speaker for the first time in my life. I have as you all said earlier, I have a loving partner, finally, for the first time in my life, who supports me and is engaged in what matters to me. And it's just such a beautiful moment to be in, just personally, but then to share it with other people. There's power in community. I say we heal in community. It's a biological thing. We heal in community with each other. Our nervous systems come online together, and miracles and magic happens when you bring people together. But when you bring them together in a purposeful way like this, and Amazing Powerful Women Over 50, I can't even imagine what is going to happen with this. I'm so excited about it. Like, I know it's beyond what we can ever even imagine here in this moment. And we'll be like a year from now going, can you believe that we were just like, yeah, this could be interesting. It'll be a really cool experience, I think, to see what happens with this.
Yeah. I'm so glad we're all here together. Steph?
Wow. How do I follow any of this? First of all, Nicole, welcome to the Over 50 Club. I'm in the Over 60 Club, and I am embracing all of these and my silver. It is liberating. And the whole thing about, the Forbes 50 Over 50, and then what was the Netflix show that Hillary Clinton did with her daughter? I was so annoyed by that, because it was all these famous women. And I love, Donna, that you're just saying, okay, how about if we just bring it down to real life? And I remember when I was quite a bit younger, a dear friend of mine who was ahead of me, she was a little wiser, a little more experienced, saying, oh, when you turn 50, everything changes. And I was, I'm so wise. I've already, got that figured out. Not so much. And I'm not going to say that at 50, things magically changed, but this past more than decade has been really wonderful. Someone very wise friend of mine said to embrace all of me. Somebody who might have gathered us all here today and in this project of, and Donna has told me this over and over again over the years, to embrace all of us. So my first career, I was a celebrity radio DJ, and I kept saying, oh, that was in the past. That had nothing to do with now. And Donna's like, no, you have to embrace it all. And what wisdom she had for me. And, embrace it all. In my book, Donna didn't understand why in my book. And, when I am speaking, I share one of my most embarrassing moments of my life. And it was long before I was 50. It was finding myself in my kitchen, smashing a bag of Cheetos because I had developed insomnia and I couldn't function. And for years, she didn't understand why it was so important to me that I put that in there. Like, why would I want to share what's one of my most embarrassing moments? But it's because as I'm thinking of the line from the Marianne Williamson poem, Our Deepest Fear, as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. Now, I'm not caught up with a number and, oh my gosh, I'm 63. You know what? Instead, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm 63. What does the future have ahead of me? So thank you for inviting me to be a part of this, Donna.
I wouldn't do it without you. So I love everything that you're sharing, and I'm hoping people do in the audience too. I don't think I can see it. I haven't done the StreamYard thing. Oh yeah, look at that. Ha! I could see the comments. Hold on one second. Okay. That just blew me away for a second. Okay, so I'm just going to read a couple of the comments here. We could be as young as we want to be. 50 is the best decade yet. There's something really empowering about saying that you're 50. It's liberating. Love that letting go of limiting beliefs. So all good stuff. And like I had mentioned when we I'm not sure if I actually mentioned this before we started or after we started, but I have been gathering all of the questionnaires of the speakers that are going to be in this project, and I've already got about 50 questionnaires. So I was sorting through these yesterday, and there was one common theme across everything. One of the questions is, what do you think increased visibility will do for your business? There is not one person that responded about anything to do with making money. I mean, yes, we all want to make money. Yes, we're all in business. And as we should. I mean, we're pretty damn fabulous. We should be getting paid for what we do. But that's not where we come from. We come from serving. We come from, how can I make something better? How can I, share what I know with somebody else so they don't have to go through what I went through? How can I share something that is going to make somebody's life better, that's going to help them with their child, their spouse, their parent, a friend? And we don't even have to know these people. This is just who we are. And I really believe that there is like this energetic thread after reading through all of your responses. And I haven't even gotten them all yet. I haven't even sent out all of the invitations yet. This has been a whirl. But I mean, I really do believe that there's an energetic thread that is holding all of us together in this for some reason. And I cannot wait to see what happens. I'm going to try to not be the planner and try and strategize on this, but I really want to be flexible and open and just see where it goes. Anybody else have anything to add, a story?
Yeah, if I can jump in.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to interrupt you, but the common thread here of all these women that you're attracting that aren't saying, oh, the increased visibility is going to bring me more money, but they're all coming from their heart. And what's the common thread here, Ms. Cravata? It is you and your beautiful heart. And do you hear Maggie? She just barked to say yes.
Yes, my beautiful new redesigned heart.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you, Stephanie. Yeah. And also, I love that, Donna, you're just going to let it be when it wants to be. I think beautiful things happen when we let the project create itself, and it tells you what it wants to be. And I'm excited for that. And I am happy to be a part of it. And you were asking, do we have a story? And I was thinking about it. And I'm child free by choice. I don't have any children. So I've had a lot of people in my life ask me or say to me, well, first of all, you're going to regret it when you're older that you don't have children. And I have not yet. I think motherhood and parenthood is a very important job to have. And I just took a different path with that. And at this point, it's not something that I have ever felt was the wrong decision, because I was very afraid because of what people told me. But there's also this assumption that I should be further along at 50, 51, because I didn't. And the truth is that I really honestly feel like now is my first moment of being liberated from all of the nonsense that we get, conditioned as girls, and all of the nonsense about what body types are okay, and family dynamics and all the systems around us. And I finally at this point feel like I have released myself from those things to finally be in a moment where I can make this trip and take this journey. And if it took till 51 to get there, then so be it, right? But I feel so grateful to be here, because right before my turning 50, I was faced with a breast cancer diagnosis, and things come into really clear and clarity, when you're faced with that. And so, I'm grateful to be at any and every age. You know, someone said wait till 60. I'm like, well, hell yeah, I'm ready for that. So I do feel like that facing a really big life challenge like that right before turning 50 definitely kind of gave me some of the oomph to get over that, to get over and into this in a way that feels very empowered, as opposed to, you know, what we're taught we should believe about who we are. So, yeah.
That's
It kicks your butt into perspective.
And that's another common theme that's, you know, many of the people that are going to be speaking in this project have faced health issues, or you know, Mal is, what was it, 34 years sober.
Yes.
That's
Yeah. And Nicole, you know, that topic of motherhood is such a sensitive area for so many women. Like you, I do not have children. And by the grace of God, I never entertained motherhood while I was drinking. I knew I wasn't capable, and I didn't get sober until I was 41.
Mhm.
And I still had so much work to do on myself emotionally. I was not capable. And I am very honest about that. But however, I've never regretted it. I have wonderful stepchildren by my marriage, and I have a wonderful relationship with them. Even though I'm not with their father, I spend, you know, Thanksgiving with them. All through COVID, we Zoomed every holiday. I love having them in my life, but I have no regrets. I've been a fur mom my entire life. I've always had fur babies and still do. Um, and so I don't think it's, and more, I think now the pressure is starting to lift a little bit. More and more women are delaying motherhood. They're pursuing the career. They're pursuing getting themselves really at their best and stable and have the wisdom before they cross that bridge into parenting.
Yeah.
And it's good to see that.
Yeah.
And if they choose not to, that's beautiful too.
Exactly. That's what I love about this group and this generation and this time, is that we are really getting to shine a light on what is not true. You know, to say to people, women who are younger than us, and say, that's not true. Don't believe that. Right. We're here. We're fine. Like, we did this thing that was unpopular and outside of the norm back then. We're still here. We're fine. Everything's okay. Make your own choices. You know, be intentional about your life. Don't let these narratives and these paradigms that have been so oppressive continue. And so I love that we're in this group in this age where we can kind of show the way that it doesn't have to be that way. I know it's not unique to us, but it's just a really fun place to be, to say, yeah, don't listen to that. That's crap. Don't listen to it.
Yeah.
You do you.
Well, one of the things that I feel strongly about is, like, women that are our age are a bridge. Like, the way we came up, the way we grew up, like, that world is not going to exist for much longer. And, like, there's a whole new world that is emerging. I mean, there's good and bad on everything, right? But, like, we have experience in both sides of this. Like, I have been really studying AI. I'm fascinated by it. I think it's going to change everything that we do. And, like, I go into these groups and I'm, like, in learning with people, and everybody is like 20, maybe 30 years old. There's a handful of people that are older, and they're mostly men. And I'm like, that definitely contributed to this, because I'm going to be a force in this. Like, this, like, I'm going to go, what I've been saying, I went from carbon paper to AI. This is my journey. and I think in so many respects that we are a bridge to, like, how life was in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s to what it is now and what it's going to be going forward. And that was one of the reasons that I really feel we need to be heard. We need to be seen. People need to know who we are and what we're doing. And there's so many aspects to this too. I mean, just like even on a spiritual healing level, I know there are a lot of spiritual healing people involved in this. And, you know, like, where you're taking things that people used thousands of years ago and bringing them into this, like bringing them into the Jetsons. So like there's so many ways where we're bridges of bringing something that was old into something that's new, and like taking what's tried and what worked and is always going to work regardless of whatever it is that's happening in the future, and combining it with what's new, making it like what's the best of what we can take of what was and bring it to what's the best of what's coming. And I think that we're just in a very unique place in time and space to contribute in a way that who knows, there may never be a moment like this again. There probably won't. So it's really exciting.
I love that you brought up the AI, the chat AI information, and it was making me think about what a different world, right? My granddaughter's 2 years old, already can't, like anytime the cell phone's on the table, she wants to go and do her stuff. And they're trying to make it not so for her, but it's a very compelling thing. And as kids are growing, and young women in particular, like we had all those social norms on us. We picked them up and it wasn't in our face 24/7 the way it is now. And so I think it's a really important point that you're making, that how it seems to be changing, but I wonder how it is. And can we be role models for the people that we do see in the networking groups or in learning communities where we're like, well, we're fine, right? There's all of the things, and also being very open to the ancient healings and the ways that make us feel better. I would also say, I think one of the common threads that I'm seeing, and probably in everybody you have on your list, but definitely in the people in this room, and I'm watching the LinkedIn chat as well, is that you're probably a lot like I am. You're probably all addicted to learning. And that it's a blessing and a curse. And so how do we moderate that? I think that's a big conversation probably for another time.
Yeah, I love that topic. I love that topic. Yeah, there's a point of like, you have to stop and actually do something.
But it keeps you interesting too, I think. I mean, we've all had those conversations or dinner dates with other people, and the topics might not be quite as scintillating as we might want them to be, depending on where they are in their journey of learning.
Yeah. It's I find myself like trying to connect with people locally where I live, and I don't have a lot in common. My people are all here in the virtual world.
Right here on my computer.
Okay, so I'm trying to keep these to a half an hour. We've got 3 minutes left. I just want to go around the room here and everybody just say 1 or 2 words of, how you feeling, and like, what maybe wait, let me rephrase that a bit. What would you like that word to be a year from now, after we've gone through 50 interviews and met all of these amazing women? Mal, you want to start?
Exhilarated.
Susan?
Meaningful connections.
Beth?
I'm going to go with victorious.
Ooh. Nicole?
Disruptive.
I love you. Stephanie?
Heart wide open.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you all for joining me live today. Thank you for being part of this project. Thank you for everybody who's been watching. If you're watching this on the replay, please leave your comments in the chat. We had some technical difficulties with Facebook, and somehow that got just deleted, so we were not live on Facebook today, but I'll figure that out for tomorrow, which is our first interview, and I'm not going to tell you who the guest is going to be. You'll have to come back and see. But mark it on your calendars, starting tomorrow, every Wednesday, until we run out of people, we will be interviewing somebody live at noon Eastern time, here live on LinkedIn and Facebook, and who knows where that might change, but we'll keep you posted. If you are a woman over 50 that wants to be part of this, reach out. If you know somebody that should be part of this, reach out, because I'd love to add them to the list. And thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being part of this. Share it far and wide. This is all pure of heart. This is, I'm not going to sell you anything. We're not going to push anything. It's not a pitch fest, and it never will be. So just share it with the purity that it is being created with. So thank you. Thank you for coming, and thank you for being interested in learning more about all of these wonderful women.
Thank you so much, Donna. And for those in the chat, thank you for your lovely words too.
Yeah, this is fabulous.
Okay, we'll see you all tomorrow at noon.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.